Hey everybody, I'm really happy to meet with Nicky and Peter Mckenna, friends from us from the UK, and we're going to have a nice little interview today and chat and find out about their journey into WSI. So welcome guys, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Francois.
I haven't seen you in real life yet, have we? Because normally a lot of the times I've seen, I've seen people.
We've got clients we haven't met either.
It's quite interesting how the whole pandemic has made it all virtual, and somehow we've spoken a few times, and it just feels like we know each other, which is always it's really great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because it's always interesting to have a husband and wife team join WSI. So where are you? What are you doing?
Well, we're married. We're based in West London, a place called Chiswick. So it's a suburb of London. Very nice place. I've lived here 5-6 years. Before that, so I'm Irish originally. Nicky's from London, but she can talk for herself in a moment.
Yeah.
Before WSI, I worked in industry. I spent about 20 odd years in e-commerce units for large corporates. And my last job, curiously, was I was a chief exec of a watch company. I joined them as a digital director, but ended up as chief exec. So that's how I arrived here. How about you?
Excellent.
Yeah, no, my background is I'm English, and my career history was all in retail. So multi-product, multi-channel retail. Loved it, and happy to be doing something on the other side of the fence now. So it's interesting.
So that's interesting, and the both of you in the business together, in WSI together, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
How
I suppose the other thing we should say is we've got 4 children between us.
Yeah.
Who you can see in the pictures behind us.
Quite a few mouths to feed.
No, they're grown up. It's fine.
They mostly feed themselves.
Yeah.
So what made you want to become like an internet consultant or digital marketing consultant and join WSI? How did you progress from those 2 jobs into this at the same time? It looks like it.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because I suppose the beginning of the pandemic, I was consulting in the retail world, and the projects I was working on were pulled. And unfortunately for Peter, about a month before the pandemic started, he was made redundant. So we were both kicking around at home. And so we said, well, okay, we'll do the consultancy piece. And then we spoke with a lot of clients, prospects, and they were in the world of, if it's not digital, where it's on hold, it's just not happening. All they wanted to talk about was digital. And so we just sat back and thought about it and thought, well, I've traded in the online space for 15 odd years. Yeah. Peter's been an e-commerce director for 20 odd years. It felt like the natural progression to focus on something that we could, A, people were looking for, and B, that we could help with. We had the background. And
just to expand upon that slightly, one of the things that always had stopped me doing something similar to this was the lack of a back office. And one of the biggest problems that you actually understand yourself as a sort of a senior person in a corporate environment when you're trying to sort of drive online sales is how you actually do sort of your marketing activities and the broad set of skills that you need to sort of get there. So when it comes to delivery, I was conscious that I knew what it was that sort of I needed to do in pretty much most circumstances, but I didn't have the back office, and I didn't really want to go out and be paying people, right, and to get a large cost base. And WSI has allowed us to access a deep, textured and highly skilled network of individuals that allow us to deliver for our clients.
Well, that's a very good observation that you make, because many people, don't realize that when they want to get into business. They know there's setup costs and everything else that goes with it, but to have a back office and start with staffing, really from scratch, I guess, when you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's
interesting. As I've networked with people, I've met a number of people who've been starting up on their own, and just the value of having the brand already established and the brand guidelines, and there being a set of tools and templates that you can use and plug and play, which you're also allowed to make your own, I think has been invaluable.
Yeah, I think working under a bigger brand does help a lot. I think it also helps you differentiate yourself because, I'll ask you the question is, you've mentioned a few of the valued items, but how long have you been in the business already in WSI?
We joined up to do the training in November last year, and we went live in January 21.
Okay, so you 7-8 months into it.
Yeah. We're newbies.
It's newbies, and it's very difficult to always say, well, what value are you getting right now? Maybe from the network and from WSI, but you've mentioned a few things, but maybe just touch on some of them.
I think in that respect, sort of we've, to give specific examples, I don't really want to give specific examples because it's, all of the work that we do with our clients is confidential.
Yeah.
But when we look at, sort of our clients, it allows us to very quickly and very accurately put together a, sort of a cost basis for one of our customers, for a prospective customer to say, okay, these are the services that we can deliver to you. Yeah. This is what it's going to cost you. This is the benefit that you'll get from it. Mm-hmm. And we can do that in so many areas. So what we have found ourselves is that the area that, sort of we are, sort of really hitting, hitting a sweet spot in is developing digital strategies for customers. Right. That aligns completely with what we've done in sort of our careers. So that's what we've done ourselves. But it allows us, so I'm sitting now, I can put together a proposal in an hour that's deeply complex, right, that delivers, sort of a sales, a marketing and sales funnel to a company that I believe, sort of will, sort of fulfill whatever the business need or pain that they have. And I can do that with confidence, and I couldn't do that if I was going and sourcing people individually from a network, or from a network of, I guess, contractors or something. I couldn't do that without, sort of, I guess I'll rephrase that. I couldn't do it in such a way that would make commercial sense either to myself or to the client, because I'd have to build in so much margin.
Right. It's really is it's true in that way, and I think just being able to access many experts in the area and in the network, and then call on them as part of your team, I've seen as being really strength for new consultants. I mean, even myself, I still pull in whoever I can find out there in the network to bolster up what we do. So I think for someone new coming in, you just realize that you've got some backing, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I'd also say from a marketing perspective, having things like the social media tools and having suggestions as to for your posts, having the webinars to plug into has been really valuable as well, because we couldn't possibly have created all of that on our own whilst setting up the business and doing all your initial prospecting and everything. So that was really helpful.
But there's also examples within that in terms of growing the business and so the prospecting activity that we do. We eat our own dog food. For instance, most of my sort of business at the moment is coming from running a social selling program for myself.
Oh, good.
I'm following the Francois Muscat doctrine in that respect.
Well, I just found, the social selling something is just, I've been passionate about it for a long time, and I started that probably about 9 or 10 years ago. So it was a long time back, and it was just so new. And WSI had me certified by some social selling trainers because they were actually looking after us, and that was my beginning in there. And I soon realized that networking, at events, the only way you could duplicate that online is, using LinkedIn and being authentic about it, at the end of the day. So I think it also gets you to speak to the right people, which, I think that's
absolutely.
It gets you past the gatekeeper, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It definitely does. So, did you look at going back to work, finding jobs as consultants, as opposed to, you must have weighed this up, start your own business, or, do we just go get another job, as you get started?
In that respect, it was what was important for us, I think, because, the entire, everything was thrown up in the air last year. So the economy here was in, was hit, with a double whammy.
Yeah.
We had the chaos, that we brought on ourselves with Brexit. And then we had the chaos that was imposed on us by the pandemic. Now you can argue the pros and cons about, lockdowns and so on and so forth. That's all irrelevant, because that's what happened. And we were in a world of, last summer, we really, we're in a place where, we wanted to be the masters of our own destiny. And there'd also been, I guess there was also a factor that, we're both sort of quite compulsive people, and that, we don't stop till we finish something. Right. So being in the, in the working space, and when we were both working, you're working crazy hours. Yeah. In my last job, there was 1 year when I think I flew around the world 4 times in economy, because the business, hadn't much money. So I was hustling international contacts all over the place. And I was never at home. And when I was at home, I wanted to sleep.
He was very grumpy.
and from that respect, I don't want to do that again. Yeah. I want to have, some control over, my destiny. And if I'm, working crazy hours and crazy hard, which I still do, on behalf of our clients, I want to do that, on my own terms.
So what would a typical work week be like for both of you? Based on what it was like, what is it now? Because you started a new business. Never mind that you have to get new clients. You've still got to manage these projects, work with suppliers. So what does it look like in the day of the lives of you two?
Well, Peter's fairly unstructured in the way that he operates, so I'll answer that question. I tend to do Mondays are like an admin day. So I'll make sure that any reports that are required for home office, they're done and away. Set up all the social media for the week. Just make sure that anything that's set up, any planning that needs doing, is all sorted on a Monday. So it's my admin day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mix of anything. So it'll be mix of prospecting if we're in the middle of delivering a project, maybe particularly if it's a strategy project. We'll be hands-on doing that. Right. And problem management, because stuff just comes your way. So a lot of communication and that kind of thing. And then Friday, we try to leave unplanned. Right. So if the week's rocking and rolling, then we've got time to pick everything up or whatever needs picking up. And if it's a quieter week, he goes and plays golf, and I'll head to the gym. But yeah, what we just find it's good that way, because we've just got that bit of time that we've left ourselves to pick anything up that needs picking up, rather than planning the whole time.
I guess you've also got that, so that notion of being in control, so that if, say a meeting gets cancelled at the last minute, which we know it happens, so that's, and it's in the afternoon, I won't sort of beat myself up and say that's, sort of 2 hours I've got back to do some admin, I'll just jump in the car and go to the golf course. Well, that attitude rather does Nicky's head in, I think.
Okay, it's taken me a while to get used to that one.
I've always wanted to do that. So that's why I do it.
It's pretty much what I do now too. I just get on, I have a look at the beautiful lagoon out this way, and I just say I'm going on my boat, and I'll get out on the boat and go out and fish. I'll do I'll do my phone calls on the boat, and then I'll get back and maybe do a webinar or some meeting thereafter. So it's called designing your lifestyle, I think. Which you can do.
It's also, I mean, we found it really useful if it's a beautiful day in the week and we don't have a meeting. We'll say, well, we won't do all the admin stuff today. We'll do it at the weekend instead.
Yeah.
So you can choose. It's nice being able to choose the hours that you work and the time that you work.
Right.
And we work, as Peter says, we work just as hard. We work in a very different, in a different rhythm, I suppose.
Excellent. So tell me.